Okay, I'm really having to do things blind these days. I told you a month or so ago that my screen was going. I could see it sideways, but now I can't even see it sideways. So I have no idea what I'm doing here. But with everything that's happening right now, I just think it's important enough to try. You know, there's just so much happening in New Zealand, so exciting. And but, you know, they are really pushing fast. My daughter sent me through a petition to sign to stand against this new recommendation that they're putting through to make the internet safer for everybody out there, whereby us white people, we are guilty of hate speech, but other certain people are not. So, this is what Jacinda was put in power for, and but she failed, praise God, and that is why she went to BlackRock. So for those of you women who think that BlackRock's not important and you just get on with your life, you are the complacent woman who dwells safely in the isles, which is spoken of in the Bible. So just look it up, look up those words, you woman, you complacent woman who dwells safely in the isles. It's a warning to you, because what has happened in South Africa and many other countries, Haiti, is going to happen here. That we cannot ignore those things and think that we're safe. I know South Africans who have said, they've got the same feeling that what happened in South Africa that caused them to leave, they can feel it happening in New Zealand, and now this time they don't know where to run to, and that's the problem. There comes a time in your life when there is nowhere else to run to. You've got to stand and fight, and now's the time to stand and fight. So this is one woman who's been standing and fighting. I'm just going to make this a very quick video to let any of those of you in New Zealand who watch me and perhaps don't know about these sort of things. This is Counterspin Media. But it's the actual blog, and I haven't actually read this before, but there's quite a lot of good articles on it. And this one is about Sue Gray. Oh, I can see a little bit there, so I know that. Oh, I can. Maybe I can just. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Yeah. Please. I know I sound excited because I am. All right. This is Sue Gray, and this is COVID. I won't say the word. She's helping to turn the tide. She's just had to appear for a disciplinary tribunal because she's a lawyer, and they are, saying that she has brought her profession into disrepute. And it says here, I'll just. Sue had been involved in efforts to stand up for the rights of many ordinary people who were being bullied by the employers to undergo a medical procedure to which they did not wish to give their consent. She was a prominent voice in asserting the truth of scientific studies that ran counter to the government's narrative. Doing so, she was attacked by those who claimed that the information she was giving out was contrary to science and could be given the label of misinformation. As Sue reported, Kiwis had received vast amounts of advice that was not at all scientific. We were urged to unite against the COVID, and those who thought otherwise were demonised in many ways. Sue showed how she was shadow banned on social media and how trolls would put incriminating statements on her political party's Facebook page, which she was unable to see, but for which she would be blamed because, as moderator, she had not taken them down. She, like many others, was accused of hate speech because things she said went against the narrative of what was acceptable. If it was said that her words had been disruptive and misleading and her behaviour inflammatory to public disorder. Okay, so that is the charges against her. But so you can go and read this. This is, so it's Counterspin, what do you call it? Substack, I think you find it. And but here I'm just wanted to tell you about the Bill of Rights, because I think most of us in New Zealand don't even know what they are. Building up slowly a narrative of what has excuse me, I'll just have a wee drink. Building up slowly a narrative of what has motivated her to conduct herself as she has, Sue often referred back to the New Zealand Bill of Rights and a case known as the Fitzgerald case of 2021, whereby even lower courts in New Zealand are compelled to make verdicts that conform to the Bill of Rights. Under this document, the New Zealand public is guaranteed certain inalienable rights, such as freedom of thought and the right to have one's own opinions, Article 12, and freedom of expression, Article 13, specific to the COVID situation. New Zealanders were also guaranteed the right not to be deprived of life, Article 8, right not to be subjected to medical or scientific experiment, Article 10, and the right to refuse medical treatment, Article 11. As we know, these rights were broken on a huge scale when mandates were invoked which compelled people to undergo an experimental medical procedure called a VACCINE, but in actuality entirely different from any traditional one of the past, on pain of losing their employment. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that really, really quick, because, and get this up. But so I did also want to tell you there's a really good video on Alterio Pines, and I haven't seen him for a long time, so I found it through this. So this was another really good article that I read on there, and I hope to be able to do a little bit more about this, because this is where it all started. And if we think that it's not important, it says Rhodesia is, along with Haiti and Algeria, an archetypal decolonization story in the sense that it ended with the extermination of white settlers. Anyone who thinks that decolonization is about equity is either dishonest or stupid. The spectre of decolonization should, if we are thinking clearly, invoke images of mass slaughter and rape. And that's where we're going for in New Zealand. And you can see this quite clearly just by a simple fact. I want to show you my sign again, those of you who haven't seen my signs. But I've been trying to order a book. So when I wanted to order this book called The Missing Lands, and even though I can get all the other books by Freddie Silver, The Missing Lands I cannot get. So here you can see in my cart, and I have tried and tried and tried, so I can get all these. Can you see those? Hopefully you can, please. I'll just pull that out again so I can see. Okay, I'll just leave it there so I can see a little bit more. Okay, so I can get The Lost Art of Resurrection, and I can get First Templar Nation. So I've got actual five in there, Divine Blueprints. But this one here, so when I go to the proceed to check out, every time it says I cannot, that one will not ship to New Zealand. And of course, so here it is. There was a problem with some of the items on your order. See below. So I went through and did all to me and all these other ones I could get, except Missing Lands. When you actually read Missing Lands, though, it's very interesting, and the reason is because New Zealand is what was called the navel of the gods, and that is why the Moari people came here. They used to do an annual expedition, and first of all would go to the Easter Islands, and that's why you had to have the huge big statues there. But that one there, so I suppose everyone can see my address. What do I care? So I can go in there. So Connie dear, I think I'm going to have to be asking you to help me to get this book, because there's a reason that they don't want it in... okay, so there it is. That one there is the one that you cannot get. All these other ones there I can get. Sorry, you know, see what's happened there, everything. And so I'll just take you to... You can go in and read a whole lot of that book, and you'll hear him, what he has to say. It's very, very interesting about New Zealand. But what was interesting was, for me, was the fact that that is where I saw the last sign, you know, the sign that I had of the you know, the Milky Way and the face in the Milky Way. So what's happening there? Sorry, I'm just sort of, I can't see anything. So I think hopefully that's all right. I've got there... I'm upside down or what? Who cares? Anyway, so when this guy, Freddie, I was at a lecture in New Plymouth earlier on this year, and this guy was talking about where he'd gone. It's just outside of Christchurch, and the moment that he actually, you know, showed this picture, and he talked he just made a joke about the god or goddesses, and at the instant that he said it, I saw on his screen in the Milky Way, he had a big slide of the Milky Way above the pyramids, and I just saw it, and it's like, look, you know, and I could clearly see this face in the Milky Way. And so I got everyone at the question time, of course. I waited till the question time. Oh, you swine. And you know, so those, it's really exciting, because, you know, there are those, and on that blog that I just read, he was actually talking about, one guy was talking about the possibility that the white hats are in control, that there is something happening, you know, and as seen at a Julian Bachelor event in Hastings, where this Maori woman actually went up and picked up his computer and threw it down on a concrete floor. You can find this on Terrio Pines. He shows the video, and just smashed it and pulled out, you know, like the screen thing, pulled all that out, and just smashed, like it was $10,000 worth of stuff on the concrete floor, and with all the force. Some of you will know. All the force she could muster, and praise God, it worked perfectly. So she was so desperate, as they all are. They're so desperate to stop this man. The lengths they're going to, you just would not believe, because the truth is so powerful, and darkness cannot stand the light, and the light is coming to us, as is shown by my if I don't get there, guys, you know where to look it up. Okay, so as usual, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my control system here, so you just look up, I've called it Saint Germain, because, as I was saying before, is when this man talked about how, you know, it appears that there is some plan going on, but he only takes it back to JFK, the army, and those that were around JFK, and the prayer that they say to JFK, you know, evoking his memory, you know, to help them in the task that they have at hand. And they've been saying that, you know, in the White House every day, apparently. You know, but as I saw there, when I have read and told quite a few of you about this, I probably can't say it all. Nisara, I'll write it. Nisara. So if you just look up Nisara, and that talks about Saint Germain, and these groups and all these people from history who are sort of working, and these rich people's children who sort of made a pact to actually, you know, restore what their families had taken from people, and come on, and save humanity from this incredible evil of those who cannot be mentioned. You know who they are. But you can find them on my channel, and there is hopefully, is it just on my, oh I know, I'll go in. No, my sign, the first sign that second actually, but the sign of Tairua, which I called the glory cloud, Shekinah glory, the Manaya, all these other, it's the blue star, not the blue star Kachina, it's Quetzalcoatl returning. It was God coming back into this time, and it coincided with the whole Mayan count. You'll remember that the whole world was sort of whipped up into this frenzy because of the Mayan prophecies, which predicted 2012, 2012 to be the end of the world. But that wasn't what it was at all, but it was the end of a certain eon, the count. The steps, it's the steps on the pyramid and what have you. Okay. And, true to truth, that is what happened. That was the time, and I filmed it, and it was at the Feast of Trumpets. There was an eclipse the month before the end time, so it all happened. But it also coincided, as I'm a prophet, those of you who don't go crazy. Okay, so that, I think it was, even though I was mucking around, it was important for those of you who haven't watched me before to understand and go back and see all the other signs. That's, I know New Zealand is very, very important, and all the signs that I have seen, and filmed, is to sort of show it, like, if we fall, it's over, it's over, and for the world. So here is my, what I called it could be Maitreya. To me, it's a beautiful face of a very loving God, and that is what beamed down to me that I could see. Can you see? Okay, I must get this right this time. Can you see the? So I will see if I can put it down onto my computer here. So you got there. Sorry about the mess. I always point out the wrong way. Okay, you have to go and have a look at. Yeah, that's my screen, isn't it? Okay, yeah, I think that, no, I don't know what it is. Sorry, it's just too difficult to try and to do this, and I can't see a blooming thing. Anyway, so if you can't see the sign, I'm sure you can by now. Just, there's that face up there, there's the, so what do does that, no, if I just point to the top, you see the big white thing there. If you go straight across from the big white thing, you'll see his eye with the pupil, and then you'll see his eyebrow, cheekbone, and then the nose on the left, and this lovely flowing beard. Can you see that? The lovely flowing beard falling down, down here. Oops, you don't want to see that horrible creep. So anyway, I'll end it today, and I'm going to sort of talk a little bit more about this new other book that I've talked about, and that it describes how the Moari got here, I believe, and how what we've told is complete falsity. But there's such good news, because I see even Gabby Plum, people who were banned, who are telling the story, the true story of the settlement of our country, and the fact that there were people before the Maori, which the Maori attest to. They know very well. They talk about the fairy people and other people, and so these pro things, I might just see if I can get in there, are now being shown on the old YouTube. So that's extremely promising. So I'm hoping maybe that my channels will be reinstated, but I'm not holding my breath. But yeah, we just be thankful for small mercies. This is the time of, as it says in Daniel, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. And that is why they are running like rats, trying to make, and they're trying to get all the settlements, out, everything that's happening, the Black Lives Matter, they're just ramping things up so, hard and fast just to try and push through this agenda that they have failed at. Praise God. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again maybe, hopefully. Bye-bye.